Wednesday, the 8th of November, 2023 at Protestia Studios, and this is your intelligence briefing coming to you from Protestia.com and other reputable discernment and polemics sources all over the internet. Thank you for joining us. This program, of course, is brought to you by our patron supporters who, for only $5.95 a month, bring this program and other Protestia content to you on the regular. You can join them by going over to patreon.com/Protestia and joining with us in this fight on a financial level. Let's get to the headlines. First headline from Protestia.com. Pink-haired prophecy about Trump and Pence goes horribly, horribly wrong, because of course it would. When our favorite pink-haired charismatic prophetess, Kat Kerr, isn't revealing how to access the body parts room in heaven, sharing how heaven smells like pumpkin pie and where cows drive around on tractors, claiming she has a picture of thousands of lion-faced angels frog-marching chained demons across the sky in order to go to heaven for judgment, talking about how heaven is filled with giant 20-foot Sasquatches, unicorns, 200-foot high cryptids, and how angels have pets in heaven that occasionally accompany them to earth. She's giving a really bad false prophecy. Speaking to the chief enabler, Steve Schultz, back in November of 2020, she claimed mere days after the election that Biden would be forced out and Trump would be reinstituted to serve out the 2020-24 term, followed by Pence for 24 to 32, and another Republican they would raise up from 32 to 40. It's super wacky, particularly with Biden apparently going to serve the whole term, Trump running in 2024, and Pence dropping out of the race altogether, finally. I'm not sure why that took as long as it did, but there were a lot of these kind of Trump prophecies that were out there. Movies made, apparently, which I haven't seen, but apparently some movies out there talking about Trump prophecies and how apparently Trump is some sort of a deliverer rather than just kind of not setting the bar that high and expecting him to just be a politician, which is the position we should all be taking. Next headline over at The Dissenter. Leftists complain, this was from a few days ago, leftists complain that new House Speaker, that's Mike Johnson, and his son hold each other accountable for online viewing habits. And the pearl clutching and misrepresenting of this among leftists went wild a couple days ago. Covenant Eyes is a subscription-based online service that offers monitoring solutions for device usage. By installing this program, users have their device activity tracked and shared with a chosen accountability partner. The service is frequently utilized by people seeking to overcome pornography addiction, providing them with a system of accountability for their online viewing habits. Additionally, it serves as a tool for maintaining transparency for those who want to openly share their internet activity, preemptively addressing any potential accusations. It is particularly beneficial for people in roles of public trust like politicians and for those in spiritual or educational leadership, such as pastors, teachers who are expected to adhere to higher ethical standards. So apparently it was last year, the year before, Mike Johnson, who is now the current Speaker of the House, revealed that he uses the software on his device and his 17-year-old son uses it, and apparently it reports to one another, and people lost their minds over this. So Rolling Stone posted a video by a Twitter user named Receipt Maven complaining that because of this software, his dad might find out his son is watching porn, which of course he wasn't. They called it compromise. This tweet says, compromise alert. Speaker Mike Johnson uses software Covenant Eyes, learned about at a Promise Keepers retreat that scans all his electronic devices and gives a weekly report to an accountability partner, his 17-year-old son. So basically, don't watch porn or your son, dad will know. This sounds like a pretty good idea to me. But it was actually the headline of the Rolling Stone article that drew the most ire from the left. The headline, as posted on Twitter, simply read, Mike Johnson admits he and his son monitor each other's porn intake in resurfaced video. That's how they characterized it, leading many to think that they were actually regulating each other's porn intake rather than eliminating it altogether. And the leftist clowns went crazy. Keith Olbermann, translation is that Speaker Johnson has an app that tells his 17-year-old son what porn the speaker's been consuming. No, there are no skeletons in his closet. Why do you act like this dude couldn't even bother to read the article? That's how big of a clown Keith Olbermann is. This guy, I told you this MFer was creepy. The fundamentalist, the body language, now no bank account, black son brother and his son, and porn. They always project. There's going to be so much more. This is how they interpret using Covenant Eyes on a phone, apparently. This sounds like grooming. No, it isn't. This person, there is something horribly going on with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. It's illegal as hell to have porn anything with a minor. You're stupid. You're a stupid person if you think that. So what's actually creepy here is that so many people have a problem with this. I agree. Next headline at Protestia: Bittersweet day for abortion abolition as ground is gained in North Carolina and lost in Ohio. So yesterday was election day, and there were different types of elections all over the country. Here in Colorado, we had some local referendums, so local offices we voted on, and this is there were abortion bills on the table, or abortion legislation. I shouldn't say it's legislation, I guess, but abortion referendums, we should say, on the table in North Carolina and Ohio. Election day 2023 was a bittersweet day for abortion abolition, as delegates to the North Carolina Baptist Convention gave their stamp of approval to an abolitionist proposed resolution, and Ohio voters enshrined the right to murder the preborn in their state constitution. So it looks like there was a referendum on the table in Ohio, but not in North Carolina. North Carolina was a win for Baptists looking to abolish abortion. Since the fall of Roe v. Wade last June, the battle over abortion has heated up on the state level, as the Supreme Court gave individual states the power to decide whether or not they would allow baby murder within their own borders. 3 different camps exist in the abortion debate, each one seeking to steer the conversation. You have pro-abortion people, pro-lifers, and abolitionists. And just if you're not sure exactly what the difference is, the pro-life movement has consistently taken a position that it is wrong or bad strategy or whatever to criminalize the actual woman who decides to get the abortion, that she's just a fellow victim and instead should go after the doctors and medical providers and things, but that the woman is basically just as much of a victim as the child that she is choosing to murder. Of course, abolitionists like myself find that ridiculous, and we don't patronize women. We hold them as accountable as anybody else for their actions, and that includes criminalizing the decision to abort your child, to kill your child in the womb. Pro-life advocates, and the article here on Protestia, I'd recommend you read it, but it goes through some details here about the differences and talks about the Abolish Abortion North Carolina, the grassroots abolitionist state movement that convinced 2023 delegates to the North Carolina Baptist Convention to adopt a resolution at their November 7th meeting. The resolution received some minor edits that were opposed by abolitionists, but nevertheless remains the strongest statement by any Baptist state convention that's associated with the SBC. And yet, up in Ohio, at the same time, the voters of Ohio were swift to shed the innocent blood of their preborn neighbors, enshrining a right to abortion from conception to the 24th week of pregnancy in their state constitution. So the evil of abortion is now allowed by law up to the 24th week in the state of Ohio. They had recently passed a pro-life backed ban on all abortion after the 6th week of pregnancy, but the law was blocked by the courts in anticipation of the state constitution ballot initiative. Stark contrast between the unapologetic, uncompromising stance of abolitionists at the North Carolina Baptist Convention and the way that the Ohio pro-life movement pragmatically gained some ground with an incremental ban, only to lose that ground, and much more within a matter of months, reveals the choice that believers face in the future. Again, if we believe that this is a spiritual battle, we have no call to try to strategize our way through it. We need to be proclaiming the truth unapologetically and pushing for God's righteousness in every place that we get the chance. Newsflash to the pro-life movement. Next headline, ERLC president, and we talked about this before a couple days ago. Yesterday, of course, we took a deep dive into this on Protestia tonight, and if you were interested in what's going on over there, I would highly recommend that you go see our dissection of what happened. ERLC president Brent Leatherwood rips Stephen Crowder for releasing 3 pages of Nashville shooter Manifesto. You could read my writing here for this article, but basically one of the things that there were multiple things that were offensive about this, but one of the major ones is that Brent Leatherwood is the president of the Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, who is charged with protecting the First Amendment rights, or advocating for the First Amendment rights of Southern Baptists, and here he is full-throatedly, I'm not sure, one of those may be right, supporting censorship. Broad, wide-ranging censorship on this issue in a way that doesn't give closure to families and makes it difficult for us to learn anything about how this shooter wound up in the place that she was, killing innocent people. And without that information, it's difficult to learn anything from this, and yet that's what he's pushing for. He also insinuated that those that leaked the 3 pages that came out, which he himself said were nothing new, he said that those people were vipers, and that whoever leaked it, and that Stephen Kreider was a shock jock, and then anybody else that was advocating for the release of this information and for more people to know what's going on, including apparently the National Association of Police, who's been lobbying for the release of this information, are all shock jocks and subhuman, and are just looking for clicks and likes and platform building. He said all of this in the statement that he made, the press conference that he apparently himself called yesterday. He also insinuated that the law enforcement official that leaked the pages, apparently, I mean, that's what we're going with, because that's the best information we have, needs to repent and turn to Christ. So insinuating that the person that wanted this information to get out there is obviously not a believer. Now, I don't know if he's calling all of us not believers who think that this information should be out there, but certainly using terminology like you need to be human just for once, and stop going for likes and clicks and attention and platform, as if that's not what he was doing, remains highly offensive. But this article is over at Protestia, and then I would also recommend you go over to Protestia Tonight. It's streamed live on the Protestia YouTube channel, Protestia Tonight YouTube channel, our Rumble channel, just in case it gets pulled off of YouTube. Twitter and Facebook all have our deep dive into this, and we go into even a little bit more detail on the PTVIP, so it's not too late to join us on Patreon and get the full discussion with all of that. Thank you so much for joining me for this edition of the Intelligence Briefing for the 8th of November, 2023. Stay tuned to Protestia.com for all of your latest in Christian polemics and discernment news. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next time. As always, Semper Reformanda.